Ba-da-boom. 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 Bum. Bum. Ba-da-boom.
You can't do it like that. You just gotta. We gotta know.
Okay, ready?
Ba 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 ba. Oh, hello there.
I need some water after that.
I think I'll just have some of this energy drink.
I don't have an energy drink.
No product placement, not a sponsor.
Yet.
Alright. So today, we are going to do an open spoiler discussion of Avengers Endgame. That's right. Spoilers. If you don't like them, you leave now. If you haven't seen the movie and you don't want to be spoiled, get the hell out of here.
It's a spoilers discussion.
We're going to spoil it for you.
Spoil it.
Alright. Where we start may not be the beginning of the movie. It may not be the end. We're just going to talk about it. And what's something you want to talk about?
I want to talk about how they should not have used time travel in this movie.
No, I love the time travel.
I don't like the time travel.
I love the time travel.
And we've talked about why I don't like the time travel.
I know.
So why don't you explain why you like the time travel? Because I think that it sucks.
Well, why do you think it sucks?
Why don't you tell me why you like it? I think it's lazy writing.
I
was hoping that they wouldn't do that because I think it's a cop-out.
I think it's good storytelling. I mean, we don't get very many time travel movies ever. So,
Back to the Future.
when's the
they
last?
They named like 5 in the movie.
Yeah, but when's the last time a good time travel movie came out? Back to the Future. 1990.
Okay. Yeah.
That was almost 30
and
years
it's
ago.
Still 1990 because the record still stands.
Okay. Well, that's just your opinion.
Well, what if it's like fact, my dude?
Well, in the words of Lebowski, that's just like your opinion, man.
Speaking of Lebowski,
right?
Speaking of the dude,
dude,
Thor's fat in this movie.
Thor is very fat.
He looks a lot like me. He's like my
less
type.
like me, more like him.
He's my level of fat.
Maybe somewhere in between.
Yeah, I don't know. Like,
he had some nice man titties.
I will say that
caught you off guard with that one.
Chris Hemsworth fat is still better looking than me fat.
Same.
And he's got nicer hair. He looks just
that
like
beard,
the dude.
That beard.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. So where are we in this now? Time travel.
Let's talk about Thor since we're talking about Thor.
Okay.
Okay.
So
he was great.
Yeah.
He was one of the best parts of the movie.
I think so.
And I know you like the joke. The belly joke was overdone in this movie.
When he says belly joke, what he really means is that Thor is fat.
Yeah, he's fat.
Throughout the whole movie.
He's fat in the entire movie, but they
Except for the very beginning.
They continuously make fat jokes about him being fat.
I felt like they weren't being that obtuse.
I think I was just over it by the end of the movie, right before he got on the Benatar, and he was shaking hands with Tessa Thompson's character, Valkyrie. And when he's shaking hands, the camera pans down at his stomach one last time.
I didn't actually notice that. So
no, I did. No, I mean, all the jokes aside were funny. Even when he was like, "Do you know what's coursing through my veins?" And Rhodey goes, "Cheese whiz." That was pretty funny.
That was pretty good. You had the idea, or someone else had the idea that you mentioned to me about having having Pratt, Star-Lord, and Thor building.
Oh yeah, the Bowflex.
The Bowflex.
That should have been the end credit. That should have been
but
the
that
end credit
been a great
scene.
end credit scene.
Them building the Bowflex on the Benatar.
Them both trying to get in shape together. That would have been. What if they opened with Guardians 3?
And them on the Bowflex
With them
getting
on the
fit? Oh.
Because Thor goes with...
yeah, he goes with the Guardians at the end.
The Guardians at the end of the movie.
The Asgardians of the Galaxy
which
reunite.
Was Gamora on the ship with them?
No, that he was searching for Gamora. On the computer, Quill had the searching thing up and it had Gamora's picture on it.
There's a lot that I missed in this movie. Okay.
Yeah. So I that's why I think. So I think Gamora didn't return. I mean, she's back in the movie. It's a different version of her, a different year, but I think that she is still dead.
That's interesting. And how do you feel about like the other characters that died?
Oh, that are gone?
Yeah.
Well.
So let's start by saying who it is.
Let's just start it off now. Tony dies.
Yeah.
He sacrifices himself to save everyone.
And he seems like he's permadead.
I think he is permadead.
I mean, they don't really, not that they can't bring anybody back if they want to, but he's as dead as Superman was dead in the end of Batman versus Superman.
He's
right?
super dead.
And they had to bring Superman back to life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not saying they're going to do that with Tony, but I mean, that's where they'd have to do because he seems to be dead, not kind of dead. So.
Oh man, that whole scene was just so emotional for me.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like I told you earlier. I've been with this character for 11 years, just like everyone else. I was 16 years old when Iron Man came out, and just.
I think I was like 13.
Yeah, that scene where he gets the glove and. Well, not the glove, but he gets the stones and he puts them on his gauntlet, and I am Iron Man. He snaps, and then
that was a cool line. Like,
it was a great send off because that's how the end of Iron Man ended. I mean,
right.
And then when Peter shows up and he's like, "Mr. Stark, don't go."
That was sad.
Yeah, it was sad, and then
he had to watch him die.
Yeah,
and then he had to watch him die.
And then Pepper, she had a smile on the entire time while he was dying. She kept her cool, and she was saying, "We're gonna be okay. We're gonna be okay.
Yeah,
you can rest now." And that scene just it emotionally tore me up. I'm getting goosebumps right now, actually talking about it. See, all the hairs are standing up on my arm.
It is. That's weird.
It's crazy. You can't see it, but it's there. And I just loved everything. Even at the beginning, I know you didn't like the fact that Captain Marvel saved them at the beginning.
Yeah.
On the ship.
She just shows up and is like, "I'm just going to carry you guys down to."
Well, my whole argument was that if you've watched Captain Marvel, spoiler alert, the end credit scene is Captain Marvel showing up with the beeper going offline, and that's that.
Okay, let's talk about that though. Who knew where they were? Who could have told her?
Rocket.
Why would Rocket?
He would have a tracker for the Benatar. Because he took the spare ship. Rocket would have a tracker for the Benatar.
What if he didn't?
What if he didn't? I think he did. That's why I think it was, Captain Marvel, she didn't show up right away after the beeper went off. It was days. And it was probably 22 days, just like it was in the movie. Or even 21 days. And then on the 22nd day, Rocket was like, "This is the last location of the Benatar that I received." And that's why Captain Marvel goes out and finds them.
He seems to have some kind of system to track all kinds of stuff because he had that.
Well, Rocket is a genius.
He had that ability to see where the second snap happened, or whatever they call it when he destroyed the stones at the very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So that was interesting.
It makes sense though because where Rocket's from, I mean, their technology is thousands of years further along than Earth's. Unless you want to talk about nanotech. Which, that doesn't bother me either.
It's whatever. It's a movie. So I guess, yeah.
Where do we go from here? So, after Tony returns, he's very malnourished. He's very skinny.
I
enjoyed that.
Yeah, I felt like that was realistic, and Robert Downey Jr. really played that up really well.
Yeah, he really did.
Yeah,
and
how he was not really in control of himself and really upset, and their conversation between him and Steve, that was really good.
I love the callback to Age of Ultron, where he was like, "I wanted to put a suit of armor around the world so this wouldn't happen."
Yeah.
And you said it would be okay. We would fail together. Well, we failed. I mean, that's just... It was great. Everything. Even when they find Thanos. At the very beginning.
Yeah.
He's all beaten up. He destroyed the stones. He's half alive. Even before they show him, you can tell he's hurting.
Yeah.
Like, because they show his feet going up the steps and he's limping.
Yeah.
But that was pretty violent what they did to him. They cut his arm off first.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, they cut the arm off with the gauntlet on it.
Yeah.
And then they cut his head off. And Rocket was like, "What have you done?" I went for the head. I think the biggest impact that this movie showed people was that they weren't afraid to do a big time jump. 5 years is a long time.
Right.
And I enjoyed that. It showed what how much our characters have developed in these 5 years. With Widow, she's like the leader of the Avengers now because Cap's off doing his therapy sessions or whatever.
Still saving the world, one alcoholic at a time.
Yeah, right. I enjoyed the Joe Russo cameo right there.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was pretty cool. But even from the opening of this movie, I ate this movie up. I enjoyed every bit of it.
Yeah, I actually didn't. I thought it was okay.
That's fine. And that's fine. If you didn't like this movie, it's okay. Because all film is subjective. Shut up. It hits people differently. Sometimes movies work, sometimes they don't. I'll kill him. He won't be in the video. Don't worry. It'll just be me talking.
No. There is one correct opinion. And it is okay. The movie's okay.
It was awesome.
That's just your opinion.
Yeah, exactly. This might be one of my favorite MCU movies. That's fine.
It's okay, in my opinion. I put like a dozen movies above it, but
I'd say top 5 for me.
Bottom 5, easily. Like, it's okay, but it's like...
Is it above The Incredible Hulk?
Yes.
Okay. That's all that matters.
Yeah, The Incredible Hulk I enjoyed that back in 2009?
Yeah, 2009.
But to me it's
Alright. We're getting off topic.
Yeah.
What do you want to talk about next? We were kind of talking about the movie in line, but we don't have to do
What
that.
do you feel about Black Widow?
I cried. I cried a lot in this movie. I cried so many times. It's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
The fact that she also sacrificed herself for the Soul Stone. That scene between her and Clint was very powerful. And it just, I don't know, man. She was just like, it's okay. Let me go.
Yeah, so she sacrificed herself to get the Soul Stone.
She loses everything.
Yeah. Do you think she'll be back?
I think she's coming back.
I think she's coming back.
I mean, there's a Black Widow movie in production. A lot of people are saying it's a prequel.
I don't think
so. I don't think
we
so
don't have
either.
any precedent for going back in time.
Yeah, I know.
Except for Captain America.
And then some people were saying that maybe it takes place during the 5 years between Infinity War and Endgame.
Who cares?
I don't think that either. I think that she's coming back because who doesn't want to see more of Scarlett Johansson?
Yeah, she does a good job.
Yeah, she's great. Yeah. That scene was great. The Ant-Man scene, when he comes back from the quantum realm and he meets his daughter after being gone for 5 years.
That was cool.
That was emotional.
Yeah.
It just shows that Paul Rudd can be that type of actor. He's not always the funny guy. He can be serious and brought a tear to my eye.
Yeah.
Another cry time for me.
Yeah. It was really cool to see the memorial.
Oh, yeah.
That they had.
And he was looking for
And he found his name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Right.
I thought the Professor Hulk stuff was really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, so Hulk's in this movie, but he doesn't really do a whole lot.
He does not do a whole lot.
He's like a talking Hulk. Or he's like a banner Hulk.
He's Professor Hulk.
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, Professor Hulk is where Bruce Banner embraces the fact that the Hulk is not a disease. And so they just become one. And he's smart and strong and green. I wear shirts now.
Yeah, that scene where the fans wanted to get a picture of him and not get a picture with Ant-Man.
Oh,
that was pretty funny.
That scene made me laugh so hard because Scott just got so pissed at him, and he was at the final line. He was just like, Take the goddamn phone. He was underused though.
Yeah.
He was there to be the smart guy, the scientist, even though, Tony's the scientist.
They have, like, already a bunch of geniuses.
Exactly, but as far as combat goes, he never got into any combat. You never get to see him fight.
Ever? Like, I don't even remember noticing.
He doesn't fight at all. The only time you see Hulk fight is when they're in 2012, and it's the 2012 Hulk.
But does he even fight, or does he just turn a couple cars over and to be a little bit...
Oh, no. I'm talking about the 2012 Avengers Hulk, not Professor Hulk.
Yeah.
Because they see him jumping down the street, and he throws the car on top of the one Chitauri, and he stomps on it.
Right.
But we never see Professor Hulk fight anybody in this movie.
Yeah.
He was underused.
Yeah. What else are we missing?
We could talk about Clint's story. The opening with Clint.
The opening was really awesome.
When he's like, he's sitting there training his daughter how to shoot a bow.
Right.
He even calls her Hawkeye.
Yeah. And the way that he's not looking as his whole family gets dusted one by one.
Yeah, because he turns around to look at his wife, and then he says something to his daughter, and she doesn't answer.
Right.
And he turns around, and all you see is the ash floating up into the air.
And then you look back the other way, and the rest of his family's gone too. Mm-hmm. So that was pretty crazy. I really liked the scene with him in whatever country it was.
I think it was China.
Or
Japan. It could have been Japan.
Fighting some...
Yakuza or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Some gangsters. That was pretty awesome.
He's a master with a sword.
Yeah. He was really awesome. Well, what else was there? There's a lot of
This was a lot of movie.
Oh, so like the probably the most crowd pleasing moment was the dual wielding.
The dual wielding with Thor with
Well, Thor dual wielded first of all
yeah.
Stormbreaker and Mjolnir.
Yeah.
Because they get Mjolnir back for a portion of the
movie. Because they go to Asgard.
And then there was another portion where Cap has the hammer and the shield.
Oh, yeah, that was awesome.
And actually uses...
There's a money shot there.
Yeah.
When Cap has the hammer and the shield, and he runs up on Thanos, and freaking takes the hammer and hits him in the chin with it, and he's in the air. Money shot.
Yeah.
Money shot.
Yeah.
It's really awesome.
Yeah.
That was one of the best parts of the movie.
And Thor's reaction...
He's like, I knew
it! That was one of the best parts of that.
I really like when Thor's like, all right, I'm going to kick Thanos' ass.
Yeah.
And he calls the lightning and summons Stormbreaker and Mjolnir. And then all of a sudden his beard is weaved into this like Norse Celtic beard.
I didn't even notice that, but that's
awesome. So awesome. And his hair's back too. It was so cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was just so much of this movie. It's hard to find one thing to just talk about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tony's relationship with his daughter. He has a daughter.
Yeah.
Because he leaves the Avengers for that 5-year period that he's gone, and he raises a little girl named Morgan. And he has a lot of, like, the short amount of time that she's in the movie, you feel this connection of a father-daughter bond.
Yeah, they do a really good job with that.
I really love the part where she's like, she's sitting on the stairs when he just figured out time travel, and he's like, shit. And then you just hear, shit. And he turns around and his daughter's sitting on the stairs. He's like, don't say that. Shit.
But then what does he say? He doesn't say like it's a bad word. He goes, that's mommy's word.
Yeah, that's
Only
mommy's word.
allowed to use that.
Mommy coined that word. And then he's like, what are you doing up? She's like, I was thinking about juice pops. He's like, oh, really? That's extortion.
That was great.
And then she said, what are you doing up? He said, I'm working on some shit. The movie, it was really emotional, but it had a lot of great comedic moments. The comedic timing was perfect in almost every aspect. Korg was back. Meek was back.
Yep. They had a great scene in there.
With their playing Fortnite.
And he's like, what did he say?
Thor. Noob Master 69's back.
And he's like takes the headphones and he says, Noob Master 69.
I will come to your house and come to your basement and squash you like the bug that you are. And then he's like, yeah, go cry to your father. Let me know if he bothers you again. Thanks, Thor.
That was great.
The fact that he uses Stormbreaker as a beer bottle opener.
Right.
Oh. Thor's an alcoholic.
Yeah, totally. That's how he gets all, like, fat and pudgy.
Yeah, he sits on a couch for 5 years.
Right.
And a lot of people were saying, they were like, well, at the end of Infinity War, Thor basically takes out Thanos with one blow to the chest with Stormbreaker. And some people were like, well, when he goes toe-to-toe with Thanos in Endgame, it's like he can barely hold his own. And my argument to that is that he's fat and rusty. He's been sitting on a couch for 5 years.
Yeah.
I love the fact that when the armor, his armor actually comes back and, like, is on his body, it's fat.
It's still fat.
He's still got the stomach.
Yeah. That was pretty funny.
Okay. We can, let's move on. Let's talk about Captain America.
Yeah. I don't like the way they handled Captain America in this
I
movie.
love the way they handled Captain America in this movie.
Oh, why don't you explain why?
So Captain America, at the end of the movie, they have to return the Infinity Stones back to the timeline from where they took them. And he goes back in time, and instead of returning back to 2023, he goes back to... They didn't really specify a year, but he goes back and lives happily with Peggy. Branson doesn't like it. I think it's fine. I think that Steve deserved this happy ending.
Bull.
He deserved it. He has always put everything on the line for everybody. So why can't he be selfish? And then he passed on the mantle. Now, he didn't actually pass on the mantle. He passed on the shield to Sam.
Okay, so let's talk about this. You say that Tony gets to be selfish his whole life and then dies a hero, and Captain America gets to be a hero his whole life, and he gets to
be selfish. I feel like it's a role reversal.
Okay, I feel like Tony got a bad childhood and grew up into somebody that he ultimately figured out was not good, and it was a combination of his father's failures that got him there.
I agree.
And that is how he was then able to, transform into a hero, which is a slow process or whatever. So he finally gets a point in his life where he's able to settle down and have a family, and then decides once again he's going to put his life on the line, and this time he loses everything. Steve puts his life on his line all the time, which is fine.
Steve also had a crappy growing up. He was always bullied. He was always beat up. What they don't tell you in the movie, and I mean, it might not be canon in the movies because it's in the comics. In the comics, Steve's mom is always abused, and he tries to help her out. And even though he's this little weakling, he always tries to be heroic. He doesn't let these little things in life that are tearing him down get to him. He always wants to be a hero.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where he's different from Tony.
Yeah, but not everyone has the same experience.
I understand.
To me, it doesn't seem to be. If you're gonna play it that way, it doesn't seem like it works. Just to say, well, Tony got to be selfish his whole life, and now he gets it. I mean, he's laid his life on the line all the time too.
Yeah, I mean, right.
I mean, in Captain America, before the Avengers movies, before the modern day, he was Captain America for a couple years. So
not even a couple years.
He didn't even get to be the hero for that long. So you might even say that they've been a hero for the same amount of time.
That's fair.
So my point is, if you just wanted to compare apples to apples, I feel like it's really lame that Tony got to be separated from his family and die. I don't know. That's what they decided to do. But then on top of that, to have Steve go get to live his life in the past with Peggy and all that, I'm like, first of all, the timeline just messes with my head. And I feel like it's really crappy writing, in my opinion. But it just also it seems like it takes away from the character, in my opinion.
That's fine.
But I think that if Steve, at the end of it all, he gets what he wants, then what was the sacrifice really? Because at the end of the day, he got everything he wanted in life.
I mean, we can also take that back to the fact that Tony always told Steve to get a life, go be happy, be selfish. And Steve was never selfish. But Steve changed in those 5 years. I mean, you could see it in the entirety of the movie. He was never one to curse and say shit and stuff like that. Or, the one joke, that is America's ass, after he beats himself up.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't like it, but I mean, I would have been perfectly fine if they had killed him. That would have been fine. To me, if he had gone down the hero and he had just died, I would have been like, okay, that's fine.
I thought he was gonna die.
Yeah, that would have been perfectly fine. They wouldn't have killed both of them. That would have been fine.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people thought the OG3 were gonna die. Thor, Cap, and Iron Man.
I'm glad they didn't kill Thor. I think
Hemsworth still has a lot of movie left in him.
Yeah,
he's gonna be in Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
He's got to be.
Yeah,
that's gonna be.
He's
awesome.
working on a new contract, so
yeah, I think that's gonna be awesome.
It's gonna be fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I understand your point. I do, but I liked it. It worked for me. I'm glad Captain America got to be happy. I hate that Tony had to die and give up his happiness, but at least he got to be happy for a short amount of time. And even Pepper brought up the fact that he never rests. All he ever worries about is what's next. What's next? He always has to keep moving.
Yeah.
And now he can rest.
All I can say is this movie really did set up the rest of... It was an end to a chapter, but it was also a very good way to open up some doors. Like Loki.
Yeah.
There's a scene where Loki seems to somehow
when they go back to 2012, they're trying to steal the scepter?
Mm-hmm.
The scepter, the Tesseract, and the Time Stone.
Yeah.
The Tesseract is the Space Stone. And the scepter is the Mind Stone. So, when they're about to walk off with the Space Stone, future Tony has it in the briefcase. He's walking, and past Hulk comes out of the doorway and knocks him over, and the briefcase flies out of his hand, and the Tesseract flies out on the floor to Loki's feet, who is handcuffed, and Loki bends down and picks it up, and he disappears.
Yeah.
So Loki is back, I think.
I guess, maybe.
Time travel is so weird, and it's so hard to nail, and personally, I think they did the best with what they had.
But this is why I don't think they should have used time travel personally, just because I feel like it's a perfect way to make plot holes.
I just don't know how they would have done it without time travel.
Well, they could have started by not destroying the stones.
Yeah, not having Thanos destroy all of the stones.
I mean, they created their own problem there. They created the reason to have time travel in this movie. It
That's
wasn't
fair.
something they had to do.
So. The only other option I think they could have went with was, like I've told you before, the Dragon Ball Z route, where after the stones are used, they go their separate ways again. I wouldn't have liked an entire movie of them searching for the stones and finding them, considering it took Thanos so many years to find all the stones.
Well, that's kind of what they did, though. I mean, they didn't do exactly that, but they did have to go get the stones, so
yeah.
I don't really know what the difference is, you know?
I don't know.
I mean...
I guess you're right, but...
Well, I mean, yeah, so you have it setting up for a lot of future movies. I think Spider-Man Far From Home is going to be a really interesting...
Yeah, me too.
Film to see, what they do there. And then they haven't announced any other films yet, so I'm sure they're about to announce Black Widow because that's like.
Black Panther 2 is in production.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, from what I've heard.
But
maybe it's in pre-production.
I don't think they've officially announced.
They haven't officially announced it.
So
they've announced that Ryan Coogler is going to direct.
Yeah.
Of course, Chadwick Boseman is coming back. Everybody's coming back. Everybody is back. Well, not everybody, but everyone that got snapped away is back.
Yeah.
That scene when they all return is pretty great, too.
That was a really great battle scene.
On the left, Cap.
Yep.
All the callbacks to the earlier MCU movies.
Yeah, all of those work. They really fit those in without being... especially the cheeseburger thing. When Happy says to Tony's daughter, you like cheeseburgers?
She's like, he says, you hungry? You want something? She says, I want a cheeseburger. He says, you like cheeseburgers? Your dad liked cheeseburgers.
He said, I'm going to get you all the cheeseburgers you can eat.
Yeah.
Or all you want.
All the cheeseburgers you can eat.
So, that was pretty cool.
I mean, we're missing... I mean, we haven't even began to scratch the surface of this movie. There's so much that happens. It's crazy.
It's only been a day, though, and I've only seen it once. So maybe,
I've seen it twice.
Maybe we should, regroup and talk about, some specific things later.
I mean, that's fine.
Yeah, because, I think I'm going to have to see it again to get, a real feel for... what my real opinion is. I said I'd give it a C, maybe a C+.
I give it a B+.
But
I mean, it's not an A.
No.
But a B+ is a good score.
To me, this movie is a lot of individual moments. A lot of them. Not even just a few. A lot of individual moments that make up a really great, like, action movie. But at the same time, just as a conclusion to the whole story, I don't know that it works for me. But, whatever.
And Captain Marvel.
Yeah, Captain Marvel's barely in this movie.
She's only in like 15 minutes.
She's used to basically bring Tony back to Earth and to destroy a spaceship. That's the gist of what
But
she
does. Almost single-handedly took out Thanos.
Almost. Why they had that whole scene with him fumbling for the gauntlet, I don't know. Because you had all these characters around him, and he's somehow able to be by himself with a lot of individual moments where he had that gauntlet in his hand. I'm like, why didn't they all just swarm him?
That's fair. I mean, that scene when Captain Marvel's holding the gauntlet trying to take it off and he headbutts her and she just smiles.
And the only way he's able to do anything is when he pulls the Power Stone off the gauntlet.
And puts it in his other hand.
Yeah.
And punches her in the face.
Right.
And you don't see her again until Tony's funeral.
Yeah, exactly. Which is a little weird.
Mm-hmm. But, I thought...
Isn't she infused with the Power Stone?
No, she's
the Space Stone. Yeah.
What was I gonna say? The like A-Force like hint that they gave us was pretty cool with all the females.
Where, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, when she's like when Peter, he's got the gauntlet and he gets blown up. He gets like this explosion goes off next to him, and he's holding onto the gauntlet really tightly, and he's just looking up, and Captain Marvel shows up, and he's like, "Hey, I'm Peter Parker. Nice to meet you." And she goes, "Hey, Peter Parker."
That was pretty great.
And he's like, "I don't know how you're going to get through all those guys over there." When she takes the gauntlet, and then all the females show up, and they're like, "Don't worry, she has us."
Yeah. That's cool. What is A-Force?
A-Force is like the female version of the Avengers team.
Oh, okay.
It's females only. That was awesome. Let's see. Scarlet Witch. Her return was great.
Yeah. She almost took Thanos down by herself.
Thanos was crying for help.
Yeah,
man.
he literally had to initiate like a rocket launch.
That's when all the explosions started going off that knocked out Peter.
Yeah.
And
that was really cool. Well, what do you say? What do you say we wrap it up and then we'll talk about some
we
later?
can do another
video. I gotta
video.
go to a screening. I gotta see another screening of the movie. And then maybe...
I'm probably gonna see it like 15,000 more times. 14 million.
3,000.
14 million.
No, 3,000.
Yeah, I'll go see it 3,000 more times.
That's a movie moment too.
Yeah, you'll see what that's all about.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching.
And did you see Avengers Endgame?
Yeah.
What did you think about it?
Yeah.
Leave it in the comments. Anyway, I think that's going to wrap it up.
Yeah. So, shoot us a like, a subscribe if you want to see more. Thanks for watching.
See you later.